Hello, so in today's video, basically this tutorial, I'm gonna start from the very beginning. And as you can see, I am on a two-finger HUD right here. And that's not how I normally play. I don't play thumbs, and there's a big reason for it. And I'm hoping that in this video, I'm gonna show you why it's not effective to be a thumb player, and what are the differences between thumbs and claw, and also how you can settle into claw gameplay. So first things first, I'm on a two-finger HUD, and the basic movements, that thumb players like to do is their slide jumps, right? Slide jumps. And there's nothing wrong with slide jumping. That's normal, like even claw players slide jump, right? But it's more about, as a thumb player, you're gonna have less reaction time than a claw player. For example, let me add some enemies here. Right? So let's say I'm walking here, I hear an enemy to my right, right? A thumb player would jump right here, and now it looked okay, right? Visually it looked okay, but once you reach like a higher ceiling, like a higher level where you're playing against opponents that are claw players, you're dead the second you slide jump and look, right? Before you even shoot the gun, you are already dead. Why? Because you're slow. You're slow, and every time like you look to the right and you try to shoot, you're gonna miss the first couple shots, most likely. You might hit it, you might get lucky, right? But generally, you're gonna miss. Second, as a thumb player, you're limited to strafing. So if you're shooting at someone, right, you might go a bit to the left, go to the right, which is okay. Strafing also happens with claw players, right? But there's some things you cannot do. You can't, for example, jump shot, right? So where you shoot and like you jump at the same time. And that is actually very, very like important in the game as well. Sometimes you might be behind cover, right? And like let's say you're trying to shoot at someone's head over here. You might wanna like, jump a little bit. Jump and hit their shots, and it happens also a lot in scrims. So it's just ineffective. There's also another thing. You can't really drop shot unless you have like a prone button that you place beside the joystick. And then you can drop shot. But here's the thing. Claw is the future when it comes to mobile gaming. There's gonna be a certain point. It's not just about COD Mobile, but at a certain point in time, there's gonna be new games that are released, and the honest truth is that they're gonna be like heavily dependent on claw gameplay. So it is better that you learn this now than later when it's gonna be way too difficult. So I'm gonna like show you the difference now, right? I'm gonna go to my normal HUD, which is right. So what I have here is I have the shoot button on the left. Now, the reason it's not like further to the left is because I have longer fingers, right? So you might see like, you might copy HUDs, right, from YouTubers. And that's why it's too difficult for you. It's uncomfortable. And it's because you have different sized fingers than they do, most likely. So, for example, I go to my HUD here. I like my shoot button here. Some people like it here. If they have like smaller fingers, they can reach here. But I like mine right here, right? Same goes for the other side. The crouch button, the jump button, and the scope button. It's more closer to the middle because I have longer fingers. I have the reload button on the bottom here, right there. And I have it here because, my thumb is already there. It's rotating the screen. And yeah. So now look, what I can do is I can slide, jump, and look at the same time. I can do this, and it's faster, right? So I see an enemy to the right, I'm like, I see an enemy to the left, I go, right? It's more fluid, like way more fluid. And look, the jump shots I was talking about, I'm gonna show you them right here. Right, 3, 2, 1. Right, you get some damage, and then you can finish them off because you know they're low, right? Those are really, really important things. So I do recommend that you switch to claw, right? And if you're wondering, how do I practice claw, right? Because this is hard, it feels clunky. Like the first time you try claw, it's probably gonna look like this, right? You're gonna look like a bot, pretty much, right? That is normal. That is how I started. That is, you know, how everyone starts when they start with claw. You're gonna feel clunky. You're gonna feel shaky. Like, oh my god, I'm over, you know, I'm over aiming or under aiming. But that's part of the practice. So this is how I recommend you to learn claw. Stand in the corner here, right? Train against bots first. Just stand here. Right, I want you to just practice basic movements. So I want you to slide scope, right? Slide scope. So if you can like slide scope forwards, right? You can slide scope forwards, easy peasy. Now you want to slide scope sideways, so like this, right? Now, when you know how to slide scope sideways like this, now then slide scope past the corner, so like you know an enemy is there. So now I want you to do this as fast as possible. This, right? This, back. And if you know how to do this, then try to like slide back into cover. So slide here, shoot. Oh, you're taking damage, slide back, right? And when you slide back, it's important that you don't just slide like this. You always want to look towards the enemy, right? So you slide forward, shoot, slide back, right? Because now you're ready. Like if he's getting close to you, you're already like scoped in and ready to, you know, kill him. So if you can do that, right? If you can slide, shoot, get back into cover. Look, see, I made a mistake there. I accidentally crouched, and that is because I didn't pay attention to the momentum. So there's always something to learn for everybody, you know? If you can do that, then I can recommend you to just jump shot like this. Because this also happens in ranked. Sometimes you might have to jump shot instead of the strafing, you know? And yeah, and if you can do that, then just practice like this, right? Just go here. You want to like make sure to get faster each time, right? Just practice, do random slides, just the most silliest slides ever. But like make sure that when you do them, like you have it planned out where you're gonna aim and like, you know, where the enemies are. So that's how you practice claw, right? You might feel clunky at first, and that is perfectly normal. But that's just the method, you know? That's just something that has to be learned, in my opinion. If I was to play with thumbs, even you could give me 5 months on thumbs, I would never be on the same level as I am now here with claw. You know, switching to claw was the best thing that I ever did for this game. Because, you know, if I was still a thumbs player right now, I'd probably be, you know, be getting destroyed. Quite honestly. You know, so yeah, that is everything from me here. And I hope this was helpful.